This is not just milk. It's Dairy Gold milk. It's farm fresh and it's delicious.
This is Sun FM. It's 4 p.m.
Sun FM.
The news.
With the news, my name is Alan Mwale. The headlines. 3 church mother bodies have confirmed playing a pivotal role in facilitating dialogue between the late former President Edgar Lungu and President Hakainde Hichilema, even during periods when such engagement appears unlikely. The Ministry of Education, through the Keeping Girls in School and Beyond KGS initiative, has disbursed over 15 million kwacha for the payment of applicable school fees for term 1 of 2025. The church in Livingston has called for urgent and unified action to combat the alarming rise in defilement cases, warning that the trend signals a deeper moral and spiritual breakdown in society. In sports, Copper Queens coach Nora Hauptle has named a strong 24-member squad for the Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024, which will be staged from the 5th to the 26th of July 2025. We have the news in detail shortly.
The news. 88.5 Sun FM.
And now the news in detail. 3 church mother bodies have confirmed playing a pivotal role in facilitating dialogue between the late former President Edgar Lungu and President Hakainde Hichilema, even during periods when such engagement appeared unlikely. Council of Churches in Zambia, CCZ General Secretary Bishop Emmanuel Chikoya, revealed that the church deliberately initiated private dialogue efforts to create space for the 2 leaders to engage constructively. More in the following report.
In the midst of a tense standoff between the family of late former President Edgar Lungu and the government over funeral arrangement, 3 church mother bodies have come forward, revealing their behind-the-scenes role in fostering unity between Mr. Lungu and President Hakainde Hichilema during his lifetime. Council of Churches in Zambia, CCZ General Secretary Bishop Emmanuel Chikoya, disclosed that the church took deliberate steps to initiate private dialogue between the 2 leaders at a time when such engagement seemed impossible.
Both the sitting president and the former president to speak and engage with each other. It's unfortunate that some of the communication ended up in the public space. It was meant to be private, and it would be good to note and remind you that when it felt like it is impossible for the then president, who became former president, to meet with the opposition leader who is now president, the church managed to bring them together in a very private gathering.
He emphasized that the church remains a moral voice that should not be underrated or underestimated, particularly in moments of national division.
We don't get discouraged. There will be setbacks here and there, but we will always remain hopeful. And that is why it's important, before we go and to live in peace. Let me put it that way. So that when we die, then we shall rest in peace.
This liberation comes as the family of the former President Edgar Lungu accuses the government of sidelining them in critical decisions. The tension has stirred the public debate and raised concerns about national unity during a period of mourning. Bishop Chikoya has reassured the nation that despite setbacks, church leaders are not discouraged in their mission to promote peace and reconciliation.
Because all of us will go one day.
Meanwhile, the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops, ZCCB Secretary General Father Francis Mukokam added that the Church does not dictate decisions but offers moral guidance and reflection to steer the country forward.
Pieces of advice, either to take them or to leave them.
On the National Day of Prayer, Fast and Repentance and Reconciliation, Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia, EFZ, Executive Director Bishop Andrew Mwenda stressed that the National Day of Prayer has contributed to reconciling and uniting Zambia.
Unity is a process, and unity is a product of maturity, more than just a product of prayer.
Thomas Mwale reporting for Sun FM TV News in Lusaka.
The Ministry of Education, through the Keeping Girls in School and Beyond KGS initiative, has disbursed over 15 million kwacha for the payment of applicable school fees for Term 1 of 2025. KGS communication specialist Mumbuna Kofekisa revealed that a total of 46,630 girls were enrolled in 93 districts across all 10 provinces in Term 1. Of these, 20,092 girls qualified for payment of secondary school fees not covered under the free education policy. The fees include full or weekly boarding charges, tuition and examination fees for external and GCE candidates, as well as additional tuition costs at grant-aided schools. And KGS project coordinator Willie Caputo made the announcement in Lusaka earlier this week. Meanwhile, Ministry of Education Permanent Secretary for Administration Noriana Muneku has encouraged all KGS learners to take full advantage of the program, complete their secondary education and transition to tertiary education, which is offered free to all KGS beneficiaries. Ms. Muneku also advised the beneficiaries to avoid harmful practices such as early marriages and teenage pregnancies, urging them instead to stay focused on their academic goals. The Keeping Girls in School and Beyond initiative forms part of the Girls Education and Women Empowerment and Livelihood for Human Capital GIWEL 2.0 project, funded by the World Bank and supported by the Multi-Donor Trust Fund. The initiative targets girls from social cash transfer ACT households, offering them bursaries for upper primary and secondary education. As part of the innovative Cash Plus social protection model, KGS supplements the SCT program to improve education outcomes among poor and vulnerable girls. The long-term vision is to break the cycle of intergenerational poverty by investing in human capital development. The church in Livingston has called for urgent and unified action to combat the alarming rise in defilement cases, warning that the trend signals a deeper moral and spiritual breakdown in society. Bishop Dr. Kreva Nyambe of the World Encounter Global Bible Ministry expressed concern over the rampant abuse of children, especially at the hands of trusted individuals. He emphasized that the situation demands immediate and coordinated intervention. In an interview, Bishop Nyambe described it as particularly distressing when such crimes are perpetrated by close family members, including fathers defiling their own daughters, an act that he condemned as both criminal and contrary to biblical teachings. He attributed the rise in such cases to erosion of fundamental values within families and communities, adding that religious institutions must no longer remain silent or indifferent to the growing crisis. Bishop Nyambe urged the churches to take an active role in safeguarding children and restoring moral integrity, stressing that silence and inaction only serve to perpetuate the problem. We have more in this report.
Defilement cases continue to rise in various parts of the country, and in the last 6 months alone, Southern Province has recorded more than 10 such incidents. Zambia's Children's Code Act is clear. Any sexual act involving a child under the age of 18 is classified as defilement, a grave crime, punishable by life imprisonment. Yet, many believe enforcement remains weak, leaving countless victims without justice and offenders walking free. This growing concern has sparked fresh calls from some members of the public, urging the government to consider reintroducing the death penalty for convicted child defilers. They argue that only harsher punishment will deter offenders and help curb the disturbing rise in child sexual abuse.
I think the government should bring back the death penalty for such people that are doing that to their girl child, or even boys. I know even boys go through such, but that thing, it leaves a really big impact to children. Children are supposed to be in school, not being out there being defiled by older men. Fathers, you'd find that a father and a daughter doing such a kind of a thing. That's why now most of the children, when they grow up with anger issues. They do not want anything to do with a man.
So most of the time, agambo nkara na impact yaso zankara mu mindset zakulira mu chabe azakulira mu kona munga ndiye life iri so chasta impact maningi babaro
bamujaga wedo tibamwanyi noti kumulekera agambo bayamba ma parents mbamba obatijana so kumende edo woti tukasizwe tibamwanyi but naba bajja naba ikonga ababali.
But for others, the problem runs deeper than just legal penalties. Bishop Dr. Kreva Nyambe of the World Encounter Global Bible Ministry says this is not merely a legal or policing issue, but a moral and spiritual crisis. He is calling on the church to take a stronger stance to promote values, offer counseling, and confront abuse within communities.
It's no longer about stiffer punishment. It's about this sin that seems to grow by the day. In other words, the approach that is one, teachings, prayer. These two aspects must be enhanced. The church must take a strong stance. That's my approach and my emphasis. To teach, do all they can. Secondly or thirdly, the government in its teachings in schools for children, they must do their best to put in their curriculum something to help children be aware if it's not there.
As the crisis deepens, so does the demand for a united response from the church, from civil societies, and from government to protect the nation's children and ensure that justice is not only promised but truly delivered. Prudence Mutala reporting for Sun TV News, Livingstone, Southern Province.
Break and return with sports news.
Shake and sip down in your soul. What you waiting for? Come on, let's go. Shake and sip. Get up and show me how to shake and sip. Get up off your feet.
Shake things up with Shake and Sip Fruity Milk.
Shake and sip. Go, go, go. Every moment you be in the zone. Shake it up, shake it deep, just the way.
Shake and Sip, when fresh meets fruity.
The coach Nora Hauptley has named a strong 24-member squad for the Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024, which will be staged from the 5th to the 26th of July 2025. The team, which includes a mix of seasoned internationals and rising stars, will begin local camp on Thursday, 19th June, before shifting base to Morocco for an international training camp set to start on the 24th of June 2025. Foreign-based players, including skipper Barbara Banda, will link up with the team in Morocco after fulfilling their club commitments this coming weekend. Zambia has been drawn in Group A alongside host Morocco, Senegal, and DR Congo. And they will kick off their continental campaign against the Atlas Lionesses on the 5th of July at the Olympic Stadium in Rabat. The Copper Queens will then travel to El Bashir Stadium in Mohammedia for their second and third group match against Senegal on 9th July and DR Congo 12th July respectively. In more sports news, all is set for the upcoming World Boxing Council WBC title fight between Zambia's own David Sniper Mwale and Ghanaian boxer Michael Dekadi Nelson. Confirming the development, Oriental Quarries boxing promotions manager Christopher Malunga said that the official weigh-in will be held on June 27th, 2025. Meanwhile, World Boxing Council champions David the Sniper Mwale is confident of a victory in the 12-round bout slated for the government complex in Lusaka. He revealed that he has used the last 12 months to prepare for the highly anticipated fight scheduled for June 28, 2025. And Michael Dekadi Nelson described Mwale as a good boxer but was quick to declare his intention to strip him off the World Boxing Council WBC belt. That sports item brings us to the end of this edition of the news. Do join us shortly as we get your views on the news. My name is Alan Mwale. Stay tuned.
Sun FM.
Imagine having nature's secrets to health and vitality in a bottle. Introducing Lifeway Shot Health Drink. Ginger for digestion. Beetroot for stamina. Aloe vera for skin. Tamarind for metabolism. Baobab for immune support. Lifeway Shot. Embrace wellness naturally.
Oh, what a bad day. When everything is bright and golden. The sun is shining and the mighty morning. Without my family in that moment, that day would have been a bad day.
Yeah, everyone's bad day is my bad day. But guess what? When my banja comes together, there are no bad days.
Banja washing powder, the family detergent.
Thank you to Alan Mwale with the community news bulletin there. My name is Evan Smalasher. This is Views on News. We look at the stories that made headlines. 3 church mother bodies have confirmed playing a pivotal role in facilitating dialogue between the late former President Edgar Lungu and President Hakainde Hichilema, even during periods when such engagement appeared unlikely. The Ministry of Education, through the Keeping Girls in School and Beyond KGACE initiative, has disbursed over 15 million kwacha for the payment of applicable school fees for Term 1 of 2025. The church in Livingstone has called for urgent and unified action to combat the alarming rise in defilement cases, warning that the trend signals a deeper moral and spiritual breakdown in society. Copper Queens coach Nora Naptel has named a strong 24-member squad for the Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024, which will be staged from 5th to 26th July 2025. All is set for the upcoming World Boxing Council WBC title fight between Zambia's own David Sniper Mwale and Ghanaian boxer Michael Dekadi Nelson. 0955-855-953, that is the number you are calling on this particular afternoon. Through to Views on News. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Evans Malaysia.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mwape.
Yes, I'm good. Thank you. Therefore, I said when I have a church, you are in Giramo, to a total somebody by church. Kaimarisha Mungamatu, which have a very new true. What would take a commercial voice? Mount for the question to Chimo. Not a tree on Kamakuya, the way Smogo, where it's Tangava Yabo, Kawashika, government, tickets of a contact of Emiran, manage to a chili or Chio Pamonove. I did find the 20 Yao. I was for the National Calipa, Mount. So there's some Pacomala, government next time government come and go. It's your Chiro. You got to remove the take at your Japo. How about you over it for the movie? Family are now. There's what you give up a government of family. So they get a family Amaka. If I don't have to die, that's why just why thank you so much, Mr. Marash.
Thank you. 0955-855-953. That is the number you are calling us on this particular afternoon. It is the Thursday edition of Views on News. Remember to come through and let us know what your views on news are this particular Thursday afternoon. You're through to Sun FM. Good afternoon. Tiger winner of Manchester City coach Barshan.
Mr. Sense, voice of Rapura.
What sense?
I tried to let speak as a good.
I feel lovely.
Effect for the Tavam Karambani. Then Arakwa Munapoya Vate, Wambokwa, Efilatuare, Tapinakaki, Jay Avacosona, Muevash Pepper, Tampenu, Pepper Wangu, Jay Avacolion, say that is over. Angmai Shamanda, to Atawa, Mulep, Sarangamam, Pepper Change, the Fit Fiaravanum. So Mueva Change, Kako Seko, Sienimo, Treka, Marisha Muku Chef Tumbi. Para bano kulanda mashwasha bachiwa mairowasa ita abantu ati Toronto refiona akali kwefi so muku shika wangu titatu afuako abantu kule kulanda mashwasha bachiwa so abachechi jombo ilile wangu mumone fye mwala afike shindu kwa taliwera Zambia bamobende so takuvile kwa bamali venja mashani awe kule kwa tabe Zambia ampa no mbanga twarambira limo pyonse ngatwashika tukarandeshi so wangu mukwaingira limo mwe bachechi mtu afweko then abamatifaira na bena abatati ne babapangire kwefundi bati vitu abamuchalo cha Christian Nation ibera kwe bati hanging na shani simeuti akwata ko bwavya kanoni mbiwafaira ko fesite bare tekula fie vila baputuira ko mabuchari na shani ebyo bale babompesha ati amagai kaita bale umfwa na matechi kakoze ko kulasa mbirisha abantu bu bakwati amano aya muntu rodi abu na mana totera mkwere kaitu no makabere satisfied pa mwanso mbiro muno. Thank you
very much. 0955-855-953. That is 0955-855-953. It is Thursday edition of Views on News. You are coming through on that particular number. You are through to Sun FM. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Marasha Mashuka Mawambashani, sorry.
Mr. Baggy.
Shari bosses.
Très lovely.
Mkwa. Twara pikinya poine twamfuati ine ya shiri mfika mcharo chesu cha Zambia. Ya former president twamfuati ama mother bodies nombama churches barefu abengiremo so that we control kwefindu. If turefu abonso ko bataba church bayingiramo because nari bana wali ku nari kwata no kusaka malanje no mbifire chikefi ni Zambia tatwa kwata ma church tatwa kwata rupapuru twali kwata ma church abenga twafuati fi tefyo nishitunga ashikira kucharo cha bene kulia kucharo cha bene hivi nangu kuno kuine kuno ko twaikara ku Zambia kuno president techara ari kukawama techara ari kukantoromba ari kwato kwafuira yasangwa ngatusha nomba balifo baye bashikire mu fyaro fyabene namushi babena South Africa efu bale sitontonkanisha era futi nchiramva kuna president ya South Africa okwasuka because bafule bamukonka timurasuminisha ukushikira muno fuyeni mwa politics mufa yabayidiga lungu da papata fuyeni mwa politics ba family kana na politics aside tushike bweme mfui ya broke everything ama businesses tari bwino abantu barengishanya abantu barategaturi ba president bareyisarero no isa bakateka nomba fuyeni mwa politics to papata tichuira mu fura lipanchi turuoze ba mara shaim
tatotela 0955 855 953. That is 0955 855 953. That is the number you are calling on this particular afternoon. It is the Thursday edition of Views on News. Good afternoon. Tabomba fabino bana banda kaya tushi bena barishani.
Chawe, somtendi.
Mukaiba konka nyepo.
Warasenda kutoine ile chango mwiro warakana kwisu. Yashi yabakateka yene na isitapusha. Tibasira kusoba tesintu baita mukishiko umuntu mucyaro cyako mwatekere. Abakta Africa ba president na bena nishi batontonkanya cyane nishifunde balisembere cyane. Pire mone ko kwanguka ero kwesa barombe mirandu ifi uteko mwabuchita. Kandi apachimo uteko nombo mwaingisha mu kwatimbi uteko tamukwetaba aba control ya situation. Awe mirandu shikesa abuka. Pire mone ko kwangu. Na senda pone abalumendo abasenda bayikula ona fyaba ite bale bakakala ngufine bale fijuba fizitende ni bizabenga kula ona fyabana ishtene ntekula mvama department kwatta kuli abasenda bakuloba wangala mumpya tule ngwase mukyalo mule base simbi mukyalo kwa Christian country twatotela amana samwambe bwi
tatotela 0955 855 953. That is 0955 855 953. That is the number you are calling this afternoon for your Views on News Thursday edition. Through to Sun FM. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Malasha.
Fabino Barishani.
Yeah, the voice of the nation in Cotabella.
Mokai Bakonkanyepo.
Natotera. Kuiba church. The church mother body. Kukiba control situation. But each on the lomba ba Malasha wesu. No constitution, not even the president or the government to intimidating or threatening ukubantu abafuirirwe. If there is constitution, ile lando kutila mufye wale tontonkai. If government ifiro kuchita, nishi so takwa ba constitution ile suminisha the former president kuna mkundapwa ile suminisha afyo kushika. So your constitution ni constitution ya fake. Ichi kalipe na ipone na pole kama constitution ya ba Malasha weso. Muna ndio akutira takili pali bena takili pali mfwe. That inafya ngantongu fyashi wandi na ngola pali lupwa wandi. Ukukapateti kuti no muntu ngazika pakukulwa no ukakoko mulela nda threatening or intimidation yakukakwa taiwapo tachumfo muntu iyo nechi kalipo chili chonse tovenga momo kuli kumuntu wa sheba tachingo kwapo bukali so itwete mwishibe wabalelo zisha kumbani so shire ni ukulosa kuli ba mama nani kana estalungu and the family especially abali mutocha na nombali bachili mutocha so leave them alone batechi na popular, especially in conclusion, my brother. Seventh Day Adventists, ukulongana bashiko wetu abatungule chalo. Eba fire basosa kuri ba president yaka indi chilema. Not anyone. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. 0955 855 953. I do have space, I thought, for two more calls, or one, depending on if we can get a call in before time with regard to today's edition of Views on News. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is me calling from Deke Township here in Dola. I just want to talk about the burning issue which is being discussed in our country. It's actually a sad day to see the Lungu family taking a confrontational stance against their own government. Yes, President Hakainde Hichilema and former President Edgar may have differences, but those differences are political differences, and those differences should have been put aside so that our President Edgar Lungu should have been allowed to come and rest in a country which he ruled. The Lungu family are merely being used by politicians, and because of that, they are actually embarrassing themselves. Let them release the body. Thank you.
Thank you. 0955-855-953. That is the number you are calling. This happens to be our last caller. You through to Sun FM. Good afternoon.
One Zambia, one nation.
Aweze kukapito kuno tiri chapa bwino kayabe voko berbanje.
No, from the city, we are at Congo. I'm okay. This is the case of one.
Bashikatwamba awe banga konganyepo.
I think that's a development. I think that's a development. Or you got another man of for Salabana Pargo, never find a queen. That was the Ramdara and the example. I never got a value. What about the Ramdara? Machine I got a trick paria. Eh? Machine gun, Pocanati, and a Provicamo. Eh? That's machine, I'm going to come machine up with. That is Nika. I think it's a machine. What about machine? And I ask you for that. So, couple of Kanati Kamokalakati, cooking, and you're cooking at the so I think thank you very much.
Thank you. And of course, that happens to be our last caller for today's Thursday edition of Views on News. We still have more coming up on the drive. Do stay watching and listening to Sun FM radio and television.
Sun Sports TV is now available countrywide. Available countrywide. Channel 94 on Top Star decoders.
That's astonishing. It's absolutely world class.
Jump on the basic or classic bouquet on Top Star. Sun Sports TV, the home of all sports. Channel 94 on Top Star decoders. Available countrywide.
Mama twapatira abwera ndani bigiriko ndiye njani iwe wamena anasilota ng'ombe na mbai leka chibwere okay bigiriko we are very very idiots bigiriko tele bigiriko ari kunuma apapata bigiriko
I am not Big Nico.
Huh?
Big Nico is my boss.
Wavikabu studying umwene wa film tarachana presents. You benyots.